Thank you. 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 Y'all. YouTube, Saint Otto. I'm back with another banger video. We talking about philosophy once again. As y'all see from the title of the video, it's called Everything is Forward, It's Backwards. You feel me? So, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by everything forward is backwards? What I'm basically saying is that life is all about balance. Too much of anything is a bad thing. With that being said, I'm gonna give y'all a couple of examples of in my life where too much of something ended up being a bad thing. Number one, I just wanna start with my isolation. When I was a teenager, like 13 to maybe 16, all I did was I played basketball. That was my social aspect, but most of the time I just sat in the basement and played video games, stayed on the computer, stayed to myself, conjuring up a whole bunch of imaginary ideas to the point where, you know, I felt misunderstood. And that's just not the case. For any teenager out there that's feeling like you're misunderstood, the thing you need to try to do is continue to communicate. I know at that age, you're just trying to figure things out on your own, which is definitely appropriate. But there's a lot of steps that you can be ready for, prepare for when, you know, you get older in life. Like, there's things that will come at you and you just gotta be ready for them. And the best way to resolve most of those issues would be to talk to somebody. Now, at the same time though, you have to find yourself, and that's the balance of it. So my balance was I got up out of playing the video games. I would go be more social and I would communicate the ideas I had in my head. One thing you quickly realize after so much isolation is that how delusional you are in your life. Like, honestly, to those of you who didn't get a chance to be isolated at a young age, being social, butterfly, and talking to people it's easier in some ways because there's another balance. It's easier in some ways to be more social than it is to be isolated. Because being isolated, if you were originally social and you try to be isolated, it's very difficult. And if you were originally isolated and you're trying to be social, it's very difficult. But difficulty is a necessary part of growth in life.
Changing who you are is what develops your character. So you lived your life up until this point being the way that you are. Now it's time to open up and listen to somebody else. For me, you know, that was imagined instead of being in the basement where it's dark, gloomy, I decided to go outside where it's sunny, light, things like that. And, you know, I decided I'm gonna appreciate my time on this earth. You know, how many of us really just stop, sit down, look at the grass, appreciate the green? Like, you get to see and experience the color green. You know, like, have you ever stopped, look at some birds, heard them chirp, heard different ones? Can you see if you can identify them? I'm not a bird watcher, like I don't go watching birds or anything, but just stop. Sometimes, you know, the problem with a lot of people right now is you are super unbalanced to the point where you didn't even know that the way you're living might be wrong. And, you know, that's subjective, to each his own. You know, your life is how your life is because you want your life to be how it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta be prepared to expect that you could be wrong about some things in life. I lived 13 to 16. It was like I lived those years of my life that way. The biggest thing is I had to change and realize the other thing. Now me, I'm a type of person, I'm a black and white type of guy. You know, gray is created after I experience both. I need to know my extremes to find where I fit in that section. This just is gonna essentially bring me to my next topic, which is adjectives, are words that are used to describe something. What is a description? A description is that person's personal view of how something is. Similar to this video y'all just seen, I was in the house and now I'm outside. You know, good words to use for inside, you can find good words to use for outside. But part of what I'm saying right now is that there is no good and bad. They are just what they are. So essentially you could say it just is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's what I've been going through at 25, learning that life is what it is. And when other people tell you about life, it is what it is. Now, me personally, I'm willing to accept the fact that life is the way it is. Once you get to that point to accept it, now it's your point to change it. You understand that their life is the way that it is, and your life is the way that yours is. The only thing you can do is add additional factors to make a difference into where you're currently at.
More so on the adjectives tip, once you understand that that person's adjectives do not define you and how you think about yourself, it becomes a lot easier. And, you know, some of the things that I do to personally get over other people's adjectives is just ask them, what do they mean by that? You know, there are so many words out here that are used incorrectly. They're all subjective, but we all agree to what they mean. You know, you can think that isolation sounds bad because you're by yourself and all this, but the real reality of it, it just is what it is. Isolation is just being by yourself. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's gonna be some type of variation of that. That's how somebody defines it, but that's what it is. It's neither good nor bad. Even when we use simple words, especially in the black community, if we call a girl a bad, why are we doing that? In that sense, we know that that's a good trait, but we're calling it bad. We are being opposite. It's like it's opposite day. Like niggas niggas do opposite shit. Like what is going on? Like I don't even really get it. But that same logic can be applied to any adjective you want. You can take empowerment of how everyone describes you. You know, NBA Youngboy got a song where he says, I'm all who you say I am. Yeah. And that's a fact. Like, think about it. You are who you say I am. I mean, if that's what you think about me, however you think about me is what you think about me. That's what you think. You are entitled to thinking the way that you think. And I'm gonna validate for you that you are correct. Yes, me personally, I'm gonna validate that. Yes, you're correct and you're thinking of me. Because I ain't you. I don't know what the fuck you thinking. And I don't really care like that. Like, you know, I can't empathize with how you feel about me. You know, it's just your description. You can agree with how they describe you. You can disagree with how they describe you. But at the end of the day, you know, important. But definitely there's some validity in why people describe you the way that you are. Like even with me, people describe me as, you know, handsome. You know, I can't disagree, but hey, people describe me as shy. I mean, I can be, for sure. I'm trying to break out of that. But hey man, this has been Saint Otto, another philosophy video. Back in the books. If y'all want more, if y'all feel anything, you want to leave a comment, like, shit, I would really want y'all to comment. I really want this to be a discussion video. But yeah, it's been Saint Otto. I'm gone.
It was never no bicker with me, little nigga, and you know it's still no bicker. Get the fuck up on my face, I don't fuck with no snakes, so goofy ass nigga. Been taking trips to the bay for this.